They say actions speak louder than words, but in love, the quiet ones often say the most. You don't need grand gestures or poetic speeches to show someone you're worth keeping. In fact, the most powerful signs of love are the subtle ones, the things you do when no one's watching. That's where real strength lies. That's where Stoicism quietly shines. So, if you've ever felt like you're not being fully seen or valued by the person you love, this is for you. Because sometimes it's not about proving anything with fireworks, it's about standing firmly in who you are and letting your energy do the talking. Stoicism isn't cold or distant. It's about control. It's about intention. And when you bring that mindset into your relationship, everything changes. You stop trying to impress, and you start embodying value. That kind of present, still, grounded, consistent is magnetic. So let's start there. One of the most powerful silent actions, keeping your word. When you say you'll do something, do it. Not just the big promises, but the small ones. The "I'll call you after work," the "I'll take care of that tomorrow." Each follow-through is a quiet message. You can trust me. And trust, that's the foundation of everything real. You don't have to explain yourself when your consistency does it for you. When you're reliable, calm under pressure, and you don't let emotions hijack your actions, that shows maturity. That shows value. That's the kind of person someone feels safe building a life with. So here's the invitation. Don't rush to explain your worth. Live it. Let them feel it in how you show up, in what you do when you don't need applause. Here's another quiet move that speaks volumes. Listening fully without interrupting. It sounds simple, right? But in a world where most people are just waiting for their turn to talk, real listening is rare and powerful. When your loved one speaks, give them your full attention. Not just your ears, but your eyes, your posture, your energy. No checking your phone. No rushing to fix things, just being there. This kind of presence is a form of respect. And respect, when done consistently, breeds connection. It shows them that their words matter, that they matter. And you don't need to say, "I love you" 100 times when your silence already says, "I'm here, I'm with you, I see you." Stoicism teaches us not to react impulsively, but to observe with calm. So when emotions rise, yours or theirs, you don't have to match chaos with chaos. You can be the steady one, the safe place. That's rare, that's valuable. And when you really listen, something amazing happens. You understand more. You start catching the things they're not saying, the worries behind their words, the hopes tucked between sentences. You begin to respond, not just react. And that's what deepens love beyond surface level. So if you want to show your worth in silence, start with presence. Not just being around, but being truly with them. No need to say, "You can count on me." Be the one they naturally lean on, because your energy says it all. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. Protecting your peace. It might not sound romantic at first, but hear me out. When you take care of your mind, your heart, and your space, you bring a better version of yourself to the relationship. That's not selfish. That's love with boundaries. And boundaries, quietly held, are one of the most respectful things you can offer both yourself and the person you care about. Stoicism isn't about being distant. It's about not being ruled by chaos. And when you learn how to protect your emotional balance, you become an anchor, not just for you, but for your partner too. You're not constantly drained, not burning out trying to be everything for everyone. You show up whole, not hollowed out. So take that walk when you need to. Say no when something doesn't align with your values. Get quiet instead of reactive. And don't feel guilty for needing time to reset. The right person will respect it, and even more than that, they'll feel safer around someone who knows how to hold their own center. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to prove your love by being endlessly available, overly agreeable, or stretching yourself thin. But the truth is, your value shows up in your discernment, in what you allow, what you walk away from, and how you carry yourself when no one's applauding. When you treat your peace like it matters, you show your loved one that you're not just there to fill a role. You're building something grounded, something intentional, and that kind of quiet strength, it doesn't just earn respect, it earns lasting love. Here's a subtle one that packs more weight than most people realize: doing what needs to be done without being asked. It's the coffee made before they wake up, the trash taken out without fanfare, the "I noticed you were stressed, so I handled it" kind of love. Quiet, intentional acts that say, "I'm paying attention, I'm here." Stoicism teaches us to act from virtue, not from ego. That means you don't do things just to be praised. You do them because it's right, because you care, because it's aligned with your values. And when your actions come from that place, they're felt deeply, even if they're never spoken about. Anyone can say, "I love you," but silently stepping in when it counts, that's a whole different level. And here's the thing, when you make those small, consistent efforts, you're not trying to prove anything. You're showing who you are, reliable, thoughtful, present. You're saying, "I've got your back," without needing a spotlight or a round of applause. People remember how you make them feel. So when they realize they don't have to carry the weight alone, when they feel seen in the details, that sticks, that builds trust. That makes love feel safe. Don't underestimate the power of the unnoticed moment, the unspoken support, the quietly cleaned kitchen. These are the gestures that linger long after the noise fades. Because your worth isn't in what you say you'll do. It's in what you actually do, especially when no one's watching. Let's talk about something that doesn't make a sound, but speaks straight to the soul: how you handle their flaws. Anyone can love someone's strengths, that's easy. But when you love someone deeply, you're also going to bump into their imperfections, their moods, their past, their insecurities. How you respond in those moments, that's where your true worth shines. Stoicism teaches us to accept what is outside of our control, and that includes people. You can't mold them. You can't fix every fear. But what you can do is choose how you show up when they're not at their best. Do you criticize, or do you stay grounded? Do you make it about you, or do you offer patience? Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is simply not escalate, not judge, just hold space. Let them be human around you without fear of being rejected or shamed. That doesn't mean you accept bad behavior. Stoicism also teaches us self-respect. But it does mean you don't need to make their struggle about your ego. You don't need to match frustration with frustration. You can choose calm. You can choose grace. And here's the quiet magic in that. When someone realizes they can be vulnerable around you without being punished for it, their walls start to come down. That's when real intimacy starts. That's when love gets deep. You don't need to say, "You can trust me." Let your reactions say it. Let your patience say it. Let your non-judgmental presence say it loud, without a single word. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. You don't have to shout your worth to be seen. You don't have to chase love or prove yourself through noise. Real value whispers. And it's felt in the little things, the steady presence, the intentional silence. The last quiet action I'll leave you with is this: being consistent when it's not convenient. Anyone can show up on the good days, but it's in the hard moments, when you're tired, stressed, or misunderstood, that your quiet consistency becomes gold. Not because you're perfect, but because you're solid, grounded. You keep showing up with respect, with calm, with effort that asks for nothing in return. And that speaks volumes. You don't need to over-explain yourself. You don't need to beg for appreciation. Let your actions, your peace, your patience, your quiet strength do the talking. Because when someone really sees that, they feel the difference between love that's loud and love that's real. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering it so you can offer something better, something lasting. And when you bring that kind of self-mastery into your relationship, you're not just showing them your worth, you're reminding them that this kind of presence is rare. So keep being steady, keep listening more than you speak, keep honoring your word, your peace, and your values. Because when love is real, it doesn't need noise to be heard. Let them feel your worth in your silence. And if they don't, that silence will tell you all you need to know.